The tires on these planes are pretty tough, so it's unusual for one to fail the way this one did. Franco's attorney said, look, there is no case against him, and the fans I spoke with say they hope that's true. Sims actually looked over to the sketch artist and said, hey, how'd the sketch come out? Sketch artist held it up just like this and showed it to him, and he said, not bad. This is like the pretty girl that everyone kind of overlooked, but now we have talks of the Emerald Trail coming through here and talks of a soccer stadium. He's saying everybody's going to want a piece of that pretty girl. So how do they keep the community in the community? For 35 years, we didn't know her name. For 35 years, someone thought they got away with this. But also for that period of time, there were investigators and detectives who cared about this little girl, and they kept digging. People everywhere are using vapes. You can see some of that smoke or vapor filling up your screen. And there's something happening behind me now. Oh, there we go. You see Ahmaud Arbery's parents with their families, attorneys. They did see their brother turn and get physical with the deputy. And take a listen to what I asked them right after they said that. Is there anything you wish your brother would have done differently from what you just saw?
Not move to Georgia.
Some would ask, why didn't he just comply?
I want to know what led to him not wanting to comply anymore.
We are watching the streets of St. Augustine flood. Take a look behind me. This is A1A, more pieces from the fence, and then you have this trampoline. Homeowner says this is not his trampoline. So we pulled up JSO's crime map, and in the last month, in a 2-mile radius from this school, there were no shootings. But according to our records, last week a teenager was shot in this parking lot. They have 3 of these buses set up throughout the entire Marilyn market, but I know you don't want to see the inside of a bus. Let's go out and look at the action here. Oh, there we go. There we go. If I can get it open. All right, here we go. But we know that affordable housing is a part of that plan, and those developers say that they want it to be economically friendly. Now, we showed this study to a few people today. They say, look, there's new developments everywhere, and right now they don't want a new stadium. They say what they want is to be able to afford a place to live. You take a city wanting to bring in a massive project with some people who say they can't afford to live the way it is now.
Nobody wants that. We have one already. People want housing.
There's a multitude of data that we don't need to be putting money into a new stadium. We need to be putting money into housing.
William Kilgore has been fighting the new Rays Stadium and advocates for more affordable housing. There are some people who do want to see the project and its plans to bring in 1,250 affordable housing units with the hope that it stays rent-friendly. A new study by the National Low-Income Housing Commission says people who work minimum wage in Florida would have to work nearly 100 hours a week to afford a 1-bedroom house here.
That sounds about right. Between the 2 of us, we work about, 6 jobs? 3 jobs apiece.
I already work my max hours. If I get another job on top of school, I'm dead.
Hearing their stories and knowing the city's plans to bring in more affordable housing, some say it's still not enough.
It's absolutely ridiculous when we have a housing crisis of that magnitude. You're just giving a big handout to these corporations. We think it's egregious.
Now, there are people who do want to see the redevelopment and new stadium. We reached out to the St. Petersburg Housing Authority tonight. They were not able to accommodate us with an interview tonight, but they say they are available tomorrow.
Get out! Get out!
This is Camden County Sheriff's Office Sergeant Deputy Buck Aldridge. He was the deputy involved in Monday's deadly traffic stop. His career with the Kingsland Police Department began in 2012 as a peace officer. An employee performance review in June of 2013 said he needed improvement on his judgment and decision making. The comment underneath says, be calm, cool, collected. The next year, Aldridge gets a warning for unnecessary force during a traffic stop. In his 5 years at Kingsland PD, he's completed 618 hours of training, including de-escalation techniques, use of deadly force, traffic stops, and more. In August 2017, he's fired for violating use of force policy during a traffic stop. In an internal investigation, another officer involved in that stop said he thought it was a bit much. Another said in part, I see a police officer being way too aggressive to start with. He had no business picking her up and throwing her on the ground.
Turn around.
The family and attorney of Leonard Cure say they feel Aldridge was also aggressive Monday.
I do believe the officer got out extremely aggressive.
But the thing that you don't understand completely, the tasing at the beginning, why couldn't there have been more attempts to de-escalate?
We showed the video to criminologist Alex Del Carmen.
What did you think of this deputy's approach?
You know, the sergeant is thinking probably that the individual suspect is not compliant with his verbal commands, and as a result of that, he has to use force. I'm not sure that that's entirely true.
He puts his hand straight up and then he's tased.
From what you can see on the video, it doesn't seem to me that this would be the type of call or the nature of the event that would require for an officer to tase the suspect.
What do you think of this video and this deputy's history of use of force?
If the officer has, in fact, a history that he has been using force in the past and he's been disciplined in the past to the extent of being fired, then the police department has a very serious problem in their hands right now.
Following the shooting, Deputy Aldridge is seen rendering aid, and you can hear in his own body camera, he's emotional, telling Cure to hold on. And one of the last things you hear Cure say is it's too late. Now, Dennis Steed underestimated Nicole. It flooded his son's home off Creighton Road.
And it made it to the front door, and when it made it to the front door, it was all over. There was no stopping it.
You couldn't see the floor. Murky water filled the kitchen and living room. Watermarks show it reached 10 to 12 inches.
We just tried to see what we can salvage from what's in here.
The floors are still damp, leaves and debris everywhere.
It's fully soaked. It was floating.
He went outside and saw where it all came from. He took us to the side of his house. This tree
Could have destroyed the whole back of the house.
Look at the size of the root. The ground was so moist, it uprooted just feet away from the house.
And this is the grill right here. It has smushed it to the ground.
He says Nicole wasn't like Ian or Irma, but it was much worse than he thought.
That's amazing. The water got in this house, but then that garage over there, it was able to get into the cars.
Says he's really disgusted over his cars.
We didn't move the cars.
He's spending the day vacuuming them out.
Probably a couple $100,000.
He's grateful he, his son, and neighbors are safe. Now, we're just one street down from Creighton Road here at the Doctors Lake Marina. When we got here earlier today, the water here flooded the front parking lot, and it's very high right now as well. I spoke with county leaders who say this was mainly a flooding event for them, and with the high and low tide, it's expected to continue throughout the weekend. Reporting live in Clay County tonight, Marilyn Parker, Channel 4, the local station.